Hey guys, it's me, Analog Man again, and once again doing another deck profile. This time actually doing it on my 30th place, Muskets deck, or yeah, basically my Beelstar Control deck, as I labeled it, or beelko Control is honestly like that's how it feels at this point. Um, I managed to essentially top 50 at this point because I'm not gonna top 30. I actually was super close to it. I got out of I think about maybe like 200 to 300 people. A lot did drop halfway through the thing, but I did end up getting 30th place. I went 6-2 with this deck. Really solid deck. It performed really well actually against Jesmon, even well, especially when it bricked, because I actually found out that deck is actually not that big of a threat as long as you basically give them that first win, and then the deck just craps out, and you're just free to do your plays. Um, I ended up playing against some pretty weird matchups. My only two losses were to Security Control, and Commandramon, which is way faster than this deck can handle. So now I know that that's another bad matchup for the deck essentially. But yeah, let's actually get into the deck profile. I've actually made some changes since the last profile I posted because that was at my locals. Third place was pretty okay, but here it's like in a regional where there's like more than 100 people, the competition's pretty rough. So I actually had to make some changes in preparation for that. So let's get into that. I cut the fifth egg. We just go 4 Demi-Mirrors because you want to see that mill every single time to just set up your trash and just keep going from there. Yeah, that's basically it for the eggs. Let's start off with the rookies. So for the rookies, we're still running 4 Soundbird because this card lets you gain a memory and set up your trash by putting a 7 cost option in there. It's very nice. Honestly, this card performed really well when I saw it, and it honestly made each game really amazing, especially since I continuously recycled it from trash using my recovery cards. So it was really good. Um, that's it for those. And then we run 4 Impmons because Impmon helps you mill on deletion and combine with Demi-Mirror that I mentioned earlier. Uh, you get 4 cards into the trash, and if you get lucky enough, you will essentially set up by turn 2 or 3. So really solid card. You have to max out on this one. Then we run 3 Impmons. I actually managed to get the pre-release versions just in time before the tournament. Really awesome because this card actually was pretty clutch. There were moments where I actually had to evolve it in Raising, but aside from that, this card came in clutch a few times when I needed another Beelstar, and I had 3 memory, and Beelstar was 0 cost, so it made him really amazing, and he's basically replaced Beelstar in trash because of his effect. Very solid card. I've seen people run 4. I like running this at 3, so that way you don't really brick into it because you want to see this Hitmon more than this one. It's kind of like that, like uh, extra bullet essentially to finish off the game. This guy is like the final bullet to help you basically push for game. Then that's actually all for the rookies. We run exactly 11 rookies. There are some builds that run more, but I like keeping it at this low amount because your main focus isn't to evolve these guys. You're just basically evolving to make them punch and die so that you can mill. For the more important ones are mostly the level 4s, like the 4 Deputy Mons here. This guy helps you grab your Beelstar and mill your deck, and of course, it can let you warp into Gundramon so you can set up a blocker. There were multiple matches actually in the regional where I actually had to set up a blocker, well, several blockers, including this one and Devimon. So it was a really clutch moment because I actually ended up playing against 2 Jesmon decks and 2 Agumon decks and the Commandramon deck and also a Black Royal Knights deck. So I had to set up my defense really fast so that they couldn't hit through my defenses. Really solid card. You cannot play this at less than 4. It is a super solid card. Then this is where some changes were made as well. I'm playing now 3 Devimon instead of 4. I noticed in my testing with my friends at locals, I that I would brick into the fourth one a few times, so I reduced this down. And I mean, there are moments where I actually really needed him, but most of the time I did see him through one of the Impmon mills, so it actually worked out really well. This ratio is actually I actually really like it at 3. I know that most people are still going to say, why aren't you playing Biomon? I like this because sometimes you have to hard play this and you don't want to swing with this, so you can turn it into a Devimon for 1 cost, and it's not going to hurt you. It will basically push it over to their turn, but giving them the least memory possible in that case. So I love running this. Honestly, Valmon is really good because of that extra 1,000, but honestly, I really don't care if this guy dies because I can just revive him next turn anyway. And then for the last two actual level 4s that we run exactly like 7 and like 9 so far. We run a really low count because we don't focus on that. We focus on mainly just milling, so these are more important. We run this was a spicy tech I decided to try out because I saw it in a few deck profiles, but the thing is, I don't like how they ran more than 1 copy, so I just put one in to see how it would, and it performed very well today. It helped me pop some fields. It helped me essentially set up a Rebellion a few times, so really solid card. And then we also run 1 Ginkaku promote for that rush. I actually won a few games thanks to this guy through Nailbone and Beelstar. I would always just swing for game with him. And yeah, that's all the level 4s. These two are really cool techs. I've seen builds running more of this, but one feels comfortable. Ogremon also, I've seen 2 to 3, but I feel for my build specifically, like my personal one, 1 is really good because I don't want to see this often. I want to see Deputymon more than him, so I keep him at 1. That's all for the level 4s. For level 5s, we only run 2. We run 2 Rebellions, also pre-release ones I just got in time for a tournament. Very nice. This guy performed very well. I actually finally got to pull off that moment where a Jesmon swung into this and it had retaliation, so it killed it, so its piercing didn't go through. It was really cool. Also, the fact that it counts as a black, so you can play your option card and pop their field and him together, so then you can get like essentially a mill if you have if you're involving it on top of like a demi Merimon or Devimon that has it. So it's pretty nice. Also, the fact that when you turn it, you give it block and retaliation, you get to discard a card. This helped me set up so much as well. So very solid card. That's all for the level 5s. Let's go into level 6s. For level 6s, of course, we run the 4 Beelstars. I've seen some builds running 3. Don't do that. You need to see this card ASAP and just wait to set up your board. Um, Amazing card, blows up field, snipes stuff for you. Amazing card can literally the deck is based around her, so no skimping out on her. Um, this is where I have it slightly different from some builds as well. I'm running 3 Gundramon still. I did toy around with 4 again after I tested it the very first time when I got this deck, and it did not feel right either. I bricked into them a few times, so I kept it at 3, and it actually worked out very well today in the regional. Very solid. Then the last level 6, Crania. Crania is super clutch. As you can see on the thumbnail, he is the boy right next to Beelstar, mainly because this guy clutched my matches with, let's see, with basically was it like the final Gabubon, or actually no, was it the first one? Yeah. Either one. One of the Gabumon or the Agubond of Courage decks. This guy clutched it because I had this and a Devimon blocker, and his Bond of Courage could not punch through, and well, it could punch through, but it just couldn't delete anything, so it couldn't get that extra trash. So I essentially let him swing and then blocked his other Digimon, and that actually clutched me to game because I essentially had 3 attacks on my turn when it came to mine, and he had 0 security, so it was basically game regardless. So this guy actually won me a few matches because of his ability of just not being deleted. It's amazing because not that many. The only deck that honestly can take this guy down would be security control because I haven't seen that many decks running Wyvern's Breath in competition. So I like that this guy comes in really good clutch, plus the fact that you can evolve it on top of Rebellionmon because he counts as a black. Really solid card. I honestly highly recommend putting at least a 1 or 2. I like 2 because then I can see it and not possibly mill it, so really solid card. That's it for the level 6s. For level 7s, we run 2 Millennium Mons because you need this to actually get rid of Cranians that people play on you, especially Black Royal Knights. And the fact that if it dies, it can just revive itself if it has sources underneath. And then we play 1 Zwart to swarm the field. I'm kind of thinking of maybe replacing this for maybe a Zwart defeat, but honestly, I like him in the build because he helps you swarm in late game when your opponent essentially has no more resources and they start hard playing. You can just play this and just plus off of it. So yeah, we run only 3 level 7s because we don't want to brick our deck. So really solid. Now for the option cards, we run 7 Nailbone or 3 Nail Bones because this helps us recur our level 3s and 4s later on and helps us get back in Kaku for continual rush attacks. I bumped up Fly Bullet actually to 3 instead of 2. This actually clutched me a few matches, especially in my security. I actually had one match where I had a Fly Bullet as my final card, and that actually clutched me a little bit of a match. So really solid. Then we have 3 Gewalt Swarmers because you want to pop their board and have more discard fodder. And then we have 2 Trump Swords. I honestly would run a third, but I don't own a third one, so I can't do that. So 2 it is for now until I can get a third one. Then 2 Happy Bullet Shower because it is a red option, so you do kind of brick into it. Um, I mean, I've had moments where I've had a Musketeer on field and play this, but it honestly doesn't really feel that great to play it, so I just like to discard it usually and just kind of recur it through Beelstar. And then for the last option, we play 2 Glaive Memory Boost because with these 2, and the 3 new Impmons and the final card, which is a Tamer Mat, we have exactly 6 ways to recur Beelstarmon. So essentially 6 bullets in the chamber, like a revolver, to essentially recover Beelstar. And each one of those will help you get her back and just plus off of that. So I just like running 6 so that, it's kind of like that gunslinger motif with the 6 bullets. So it kind of works in kind of like a meme sense, but I just like how much recursion I have in this deck so far. I've seen people run more of this, and also I actually have a friend. Shout out to my friend Jose, who's running 2 Glaive Memory Boosts and 2 Purple Memory Boosts. The idea is really cool that you can keep searching and set up memory, but I personally just like running these because they're already solid enough, and I already have enough recursion. So I just feel like that's a bit excessive, and potentially it can brick you. So I choose to just kind of go with it like this. Um, to wrap it up, this deck did exceptionally well, especially going the fact that it went 6-2 today. Um, there are a few things I do still need to tinker with the deck, especially the level 4 count. I like it for now, but there is room for improvement. Same with the amount of option cards that I might change in the future. The Tamers I won't change because this deck doesn't really need Tamers half the time, so it's not that big of a deal. But the main improvement is to deal with security control. I noticed that this deck was struggling really hard against security control. Maybe I was playing it wrong, but the matchup is supposed to be pretty like what was it? It's like 65 to 40 or like 35 or something. Like it's supposed to at least be a good matchup, and I didn't really have that experience, so I don't know. I'll have to work on that. Jessmon, honestly, I was that was honestly my biggest fear going into this tournament, but honestly, it was really not that hard to deal with Jessmon. Jessmon, as I said, the deck kind of craps out after like once it gets that first win or to win in round 2, the deck just completely dies. It starts bricking. I noticed that a lot of Jessmon players just it's just that once that happens, they just draw into all their options, or like they draw into everything but their Huckmons or something like that. I feel like that deck is weird, but at the same time, it's like it's super consistent when it wants to be. But the thing is that when it isn't, you have to capitalize on it and just keep going because if you don't, you will actually also give enough time for them to set up. I did actually give them enough time to set up, but the problem is that they just didn't have the other resources to go for game, and that actually won me the match in both instances. I actually didn't record the second one, but that one was a really weird one because they had won the first one. Then the game 2 and 3, it was just really strange how they bricked really hard. I don't know why, but it's whatever. Against Aguband, this deck does exceptionally well. If you play it correctly, it is very good. Aside from that, Black Royal Knights, it does slightly struggle against it, but with the amount of removal you have, as long as you can get a Millennium Mon to get rid of the Crania, it should be fine. Aside from that, most matchups were pretty easy. Just be careful of rookie rush decks also, like Commandramon. Those decks are way too fast for this deck to handle. I did get one game off of him, but that's also because he bricked. So against a normal Commandramon deck or rookie rush deck that is just basically memory choking and just slamming down rookies, you have to be very careful about how much you give them and what you give them. So just be on the lookout for that. Anyway, I just wanted to really show off my deck and just kind of, basically say that I managed to at least top a regional for once with this. So I'm really happy about that. I will be making improvements, as I said. So stay tuned for that. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think of the deck, honestly, because I am constantly improving my decks and I want to, fix them to the point where I can deal with anything. So anyway, see you next time.